You did not crash it. You did not neglect it. You changed the tires, kept it clean, and drove it like a responsible adult. And you still lost $70,000. Electric vehicles are the worst depreciating category of vehicle in America, losing an average of 57% of their value in 5 years, against 42% for the market overall, and just 41% for hybrids. Today, I am counting down the 11 EVs that got absolutely destroyed in the used market. And stick around, because the flip side of every number in this video is the best used car deal you will ever find. Let's get into it. One honest note first. Depreciation estimates vary between data houses, sometimes by 10 percentage points on the same car. So take these as the shape of the damage rather than a precise appraisal of your driveway. We start with a vehicle that explains this entire video in one sentence. The Audi Q8 e-tron did not fail. It got lapped. Here's the thing the industry does not like to say out loud. Electric vehicles age like consumer electronics, not like cars. Your phone from 3 years ago still works perfectly. It also feels ancient, and nobody is paying full price for it. The Q8 e-tron launched with range numbers that looked competitive in 2022. Within 3 years, half a dozen brands were offering more range, dramatically faster charging, and better efficiency for less money. No scandal, no recall crisis, no mechanical disaster. It simply got outrun by the technology it was built to represent. Then the lease returns arrived. Luxury EV leases, written during the subsidy years, all expired around the same window, dumping identical low mileage cars onto the market simultaneously. Supply spiked, demand did not, and prices went one direction. 3 years in, owners have watched around $44,700 evaporate from an $80,000 SUV, leaving roughly $35,300. And for a used shopper, that is a beautifully built, quiet, comfortable Audi at a price the first owner would find physically painful to look at. Number 10 is the one where the manufacturer's own strategy did the damage, the BMW iX. BMW took its most trusted luxury nameplate, wrapped it in a design that made longtime BMW fans physically uncomfortable, and charged $93,000 for it. But the styling is not the real story. The real story happened behind the scenes. BMW leaned hard into a commercial tax credit loophole to subsidize iX lease deals. Payments so low, the car felt like a Toyota. Great for BMW's delivery numbers. Great for the person who handed the keys back after 3 years. Catastrophic for the person who wrote an actual check. Because when those leases matured, thousands of used iX units hit the market at once, and prices fell off a cliff. The purchase buyer absorbed the entire loss so the manufacturer could hit its quarterly targets. The used shopper looking at one now sees an expensive electric SUV from a brand that seemingly did not believe in it enough to sell it, only to lease it. 3 years in, the iX has shed around 55%. You paid $93,000, you are walking away with roughly $41,700. Over $51,000 gone before the loan was finished. And the twist regular viewers know, the iX is one of the most reliable, best-built luxury EVs of its generation. And BMW is now phasing it out for the new iX3. So the depreciation is not a verdict on the car. It is a verdict on how it was sold. Number 9 is a car that lost its value because of decisions made at a completely different company, the Mercedes-Benz EQE. Mercedes built this as its serious electric sedan, a statement that Stuttgart could compete with anybody for the luxury EV buyer. What Stuttgart did not plan for was Tesla setting the entire luxury EV resale market on fire. Across 2023 and into 2024, Tesla repeatedly slashed prices across its lineup by tens of thousands of dollars. And once a brand new Tesla costs barely more than a lightly used Mercedes pricing has exactly one direction to go. Mercedes responded the only way it could, stacking heavy incentives on new EQE units to keep them moving, which made things worse for everyone who had already bought one. Brand new EQEs sat on lots at massive discounts while the 3-year-old version became nearly impossible to sell at any number that made sense for the original owner. One company started a price war. Everybody else's customers paid for it. 3 years in, the EQE is down close to 59%. $86,000 becomes roughly $35,400. Over $50,000 gone. And here is the part that stings for owners. The EQE is a legitimately excellent car. Quiet, beautifully finished, comfortable in a way that reminds you why the badge exists. It did nothing wrong. It just stood too close to a price war. Number 8 is a car whose own maker did the damage on purpose, the Tesla Model X. Tesla built a business model out of introducing vehicles at ambitious prices and then cutting those prices, sometimes by $3,000, sometimes $10,000, sometimes $20,000, whenever demand needed a nudge. In early 2023 alone, the base Model X dropped roughly $10,000 overnight, from about $111,600 down to $99,100 in a single announcement. That was one of several cuts that year. Every one of those announcements did the same thing. It instantly devalued every used Model X in America. A used car cannot be priced above a comparable new one, so dealers and private sellers had to slash their asking prices the same day, without warning, with no say in the matter. The result is one of the ugliest depreciation figures in the industry. Depending on which data house you ask, the Model X loses somewhere between 57% and 67% of its value across 5 years. The dollar number lands near $65,700 gone. None of this reflects on the vehicle. The Model X is fast, huge, practical, and packed with technology. It was simply owned by a company willing to sacrifice its resale market for volume. Number 7 proves you do not need a 6-figure price tag to get destroyed. The Volkswagen ID.4 loses around 62% of its value across 5 years, one of the worst rates of any mainstream EV in America, luxury or otherwise. Regular viewers know why. The recall history reads like a warranty department's worst year. Electronic door handles that could let doors pop open while driving, then a battery defect recall covering nearly 44,000 vehicles, with owners told to park outside, cap charging at 80%, and stay off fast chargers entirely. An electric car you should not fast charge and should not park in your garage is a hard sell to a used buyer doing 5 minutes of research. Then, Volkswagen dropped the ID.4 from the American lineup entirely, which turned every existing one into an orphan and gave the used market one more reason to discount. But here's the flip side, and it is the reason the ID.4 keeps appearing on my recommendation lists too. A sorted car, one with every campaign documented as closed, is running on inspected or brand new battery hardware, with years of software fixes applied. It also carries the lowest insurance cost of any popular EV in America at around $2,066 a year. So the depreciation that wrecked the first owner has turned the ID.4 into one of the cheapest ways into a spacious, well-built electric crossover. Just run the VIN first, every single time. Number 6 is the car that started all of this, and it is bleeding value faster than almost anything it inspired, the Tesla Model S. The same price cut machinery that wrecked the Model X applied here, only it stings more because of what the Model S represents. This is Tesla's original flagship, the car that ended the argument about whether electric vehicles could be taken seriously. A decade of loyal ownership behind it, a real enthusiast community. And on the longevity countdown, the highest mileage electric cars on the planet are Model S sedans, including one past 1 million miles, and an airport taxi that crossed 430,000, still running its original battery and motors. None of that saved it. Depending on the data house, the Model S loses between 62% and 69% of its value across 5 years. At 3 years, one measurement puts a $95,000 car at $32,700. $62,300 gone. And Tesla discontinued the Model S this year, which removes the last thing anchoring its resale. No new model arrives to set a price ceiling, no marketing keeps the nameplate alive, no showroom traffic reminds anyone it exists. So here is the strange conclusion this data forces. The most proven electric drivetrain ever built, in the car that created the category, is now one of the steepest depreciation curves in the industry, which makes a used Model S with documented battery health one of the most car per dollar purchases available anywhere. The first owner paid for the privilege of being early. You do not have to. Number 5 is the best engineered electric car in the world, and the used market does not care, the Lucid Air. Regular viewers know this car's resume. It crowned my longest range countdown at 512 EPA miles, the only production EV past 500, and the most efficient car in the world, doing it on a battery nearly half the size of the trucks chasing it. The Sapphire version topped my fastest EVs list at 1.89 seconds to 60. It is, by the numbers, the high water mark of electric engineering. And it loses around 63% of its value in 5 years. A car that's stickered near 6 figures lands in the mid-20,000s. 10 years in, the projection puts retention near 20%, around $14,000 for the greatest range achievement in automotive history. The reason is not the machine, it is the company. As this channel has covered all year, Lucid sits at the top of my brand's most at-risk list. Hired a restructuring advisor this summer, spent days denying bankruptcy rumors, and is betting everything on a cheaper SUV. Used buyers price that uncertainty in ruthlessly because a warranty is only as strong as the company behind it, and a service network is only as good as its funding, which is why the used Lucid Air took the #1 spot on my performance bargains video. The engineering is real, the 8-year battery warranty transfers, and the Saudi sovereign fund has answered every crisis so far. You are buying the finest EV hardware in America at half price, and the discount is entirely corporate anxiety. Number 4 is the cleanest proof that badges, not engineering, set resale value. The Audi e-tron GT and its RS variant. This car is mechanically a Porsche Taycan. Same platform, same 800-volt architecture, same electric performance hardware built alongside it. Audi advertises that fact, which turns out to be the problem because the buyer with $125,000 for an electric performance sedan almost always wants the crest, not the 4 rings. So look at what happens to 2 nearly identical cars. The Porsche Taycan is one of the better value retainers in the entire EV segment, losing around 55% over 5 years, better than the EV average. The Audi loses roughly 63%. And one measurement has a $99,900 2022 e-tron GT selling around $37,000 today. At 3 years, the RS version has taken buyers from $125,000 down to about $54,400. Over $70,000 gone, more than the median American household earns in a year on one car. Same engineering, same factory, different emblem, 8 percentage points of value. And on my fastest EVs countdown, the RS e-tron GT Performance placed 5th at 912 horsepower with a push-to-pass button borrowed from motorsport. It is the most underrated fast car in America, and now the most underpriced one on the used lot. Number 3 is the cheapest car on this list, and it loses the highest percentage of any mainstream electric vehicle in America. The Nissan Leaf, down around 63% in 5 years. The dollar figure looks almost gentle by comparison, roughly $17,400 gone. But that is only because the Leaf never cost much to begin with, and because most of them sold with a federal credit knocked off the sticker on day 1. Percentage-wise, this is the worst value retention of any electric car in the country, and the reasons are engineering rather than marketing. Regular viewers know the story from the mistakes video. Every Leaf built before this year's redesign used a passively air-cooled battery. No liquid thermal management, nothing actively protecting the pack from heat. In hot states, those batteries degrade visibly, capacity bars disappearing one by one, and there's no fix short of an entire new pack. A used buyer in Phoenix looking at a Leaf is not buying a car. They are buying a countdown, and the market prices that accordingly. Add short range on the older cars, under 150 real-world miles on early examples, and you have a vehicle that struggles to be genuinely useful for a second owner. The market is not being cruel, it is being accurate. But 2 things worth saying. First, in mild and cold climates, those same Leafs age gracefully and become one of the best value used EVs on the road, which is why the Leaf Plus made my under $20,000 list with a zip code condition attached. Second, the redesigned Leaf finally has liquid cooling, 303 miles of range, and a sub $30,000 price. Whether that fixes the resale story is the open question of the next 5 years. Number 2 is a luxury sedan whose own gas-powered twin holds value far better. The Genesis Electrified G80, down around 65% in 5 years. Look at the arithmetic. A car that sold new near $80,000 now trades around $28,000. At 3 years, one measurement has owners already down $46,000. And the most damning comparison is not against a Tesla or a Mercedes. It is against the identical Genesis sitting in the same showroom with a gas engine in it, which retains meaningfully more of its value. Same body, same interior, same badge, same dealer. The only variable is the powertrain, and the market has told you exactly what it thinks of that variable. 3 forces stacked here. Lease returns flooded the supply, the way they did for every luxury EV in this video. Technology moved faster than residual values could absorb the Q8 e-tron problem repeating one badge over. And Genesis, for all the progress it has made, does not yet have the decades of brand equity that soften a correction. When the EV market turned, the newest nameplates felt it first and hardest. Regular viewers also know the Electrified G80 sits alongside the GV60 near the top of the unsold inventory charts. Slow to sell new, brutal to resell used. Those two facts are the same fact wearing different clothes. For a used shopper, this might be the single most car for the money on this entire list. A 3-year-old Electrified G80 is a genuine luxury sedan with a strong warranty, real dealer support, and a company in solid financial health at a price that would embarrass a loaded Camry. The first owner paid for the brand's education. You get the graduation. And the worst depreciating electric vehicle in America is the Jaguar I-Pace, down 72% in 5 years. Not the worst EV, the worst vehicle of any kind. The steepest depreciation of anything. In a study covering hundreds of thousands of used cars, gas and electric alike. A car that started near $70,000 now trades around $20,000. Every failure mode in this entire video shows up in this one vehicle at once. It launched as a technical showcase and got lapped within a few years, exactly like the Q8 e-tron. It carried a luxury badge with a reliability record that made used buyers nervous, exactly like the Range Rovers it shares a parent with. And then Jaguar did the thing that removes the floor entirely. It walked away. Jaguar ended I-Pace production and is repositioning the entire brand at a dramatically higher price point, with new models starting around $130,000. So the used I-Pace buyer is looking at an electric SUV from a company that has abandoned the segment, the price point, and effectively the customer. Dealer support shrinks. Parts availability becomes a legitimate long-term question. Nothing new arrives to anchor the price. That is the pattern this whole countdown has been circling, and it deserves naming. Look at the top of this list. The I-Pace, discontinued. The Model S and Model X, discontinued. The ID.4 dropped from the American lineup. Discontinuation is the single most reliable predictor of catastrophic depreciation because the market stops believing anyone will be there to support the car. So what do you do with all of this? 3 rules. Rule 1, if you are buying new, lease anything on this list. This is the entire lesson of the BMW iX story. The lessee walked away clean after 3 years. The purchaser absorbed $51,000. When a category depreciates like this, leasing hands the risk back to the manufacturer, which is exactly where it belongs. That advice applies double to anything from a company in retreat. Rule 2, if you are buying used, this list is your shopping list. Every number in this video represents a first owner who already absorbed the loss. A 3 to 4-year-old EV with documented battery health between 88 and 92% lets you skip the steep part of the curve while keeping most of the usable life of the pack. The Lucid, the Model S, the Genesis, the Audi. These are extraordinary machines at prices their engineering never justified. Rule 3, separate the risk from the noise. Some depreciation is just market timing, and the car is fine. The iX, the EQE, the Q8 e-tron, the Model S. Some depreciation is a warning, and the market knows something. An air-cooled battery in a hot climate, an abandoned brand with a thinning service network. Do the battery health scan, run the VIN, confirm the warranty transfer, and check whether the company will still be standing in 5 years. Get those 4 things right, and steep depreciation stops being a tragedy and starts being the best leverage you have. Because here is the honest truth underneath every number in this video. Someone lost a fortune on all of these cars. The only question left is whether that someone is going to be you or whether it already was somebody else. I'm Nick, this has been Nick's Car Review, and I will see you in the next one.